Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm feeling a little summery today, hence the bright orange top. Also in the process of packing for my Paris trip. If you guys are watching this by now, I'm probably already on my trip, but I figured I'd bring out the bright colors. It's also Mel's bachelorette trip, so we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna dress up. But before I get into like a further tangent, let's just chat about today's video. I've been thinking about making a video like this for the longest time ever because I do a lot of independent reviews of the products that I purchase, especially luxury or designer ones, just to give you an in-depth kind of look as to whether or not something is worth purchasing. But I also kind of wanted to do a holistic roundup of my top 3 best and worst purchases of the year, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from for a lot of these products. If you're not looking for like a very in-depth review, then this video will kind of give you a rough idea as to like topically wise why certain things were good and some things were not. I think what I'll do is go back and forth between the best and then the worst, so we can like alternate back and forth to make it a little bit more fun, because I don't want to make it all negative. But let's just start off with a positive one because this is a good one. If you guys been watching me for a while now, then you know that I am absolutely obsessed with my Goyard St. Louis. I detest my LV Neverfull. This has honestly become such a great everyday bag for me personally as a mom, but also in the sense that I can use this for so many utilities besides just a mom bag. I actually use this for my travel carry-on tote, like that personal item. You can fit so much in this. You can collapse it down if you're not using it. You can also make it look smaller, and it will fit in those like wiry metal contraptions that they force you to put your carry-on bags into to make sure they fit under the seat or in the overhead compartment. So that's why I like this bag. It's just so pliable. I know some people hate the fact that it's really soft and it doesn't hold its structure well, but I just add a purse organizer into it and it's great. The leather is really soft. It doesn't bite into my shoulders when I wear it, which is why I like it so much more than LV Neverfull, and it's honestly endless. This is the GM size, the largest size. Actually, I think there might be one larger one, like an extra GM, but for those that are asking, this is not the PM or the MM, it is the GM. It is a little bit big sometimes for a day-to-day if you're not gonna be stuffing it full, because then it just looks like really flat and kind of like big under your shoulder. But this was originally designed to be a beach bag by Goyard. I am by no means going to make this my beach bag because I'm just not bougie like that enough, at least yet. Maybe one day. This is more or less my everyday tote, but I think that if you're not planning to fill this up completely with stuff, if you just like the look of the bag and you just want the St. Louis, then I think you could probably utilize the MM pretty well. The SM, I think at that point when it comes to a tote, is a little bit too small, and I would just opt for any other bag for myself personally. But I think an MM size is perfect for everybody. But I love this one. It's just been so great to me. The color matches literally everything. I contemplated getting the black with the black trim, but I'm much more of like a warmer color gal. I wear a lot of browns, so this suits a lot of my brown outfits, and I feel like it's a nice distinctive pop. I'm also seeing this bag like everywhere now, not specifically the brown trim, but just the St. Louis tote everywhere. So it seems like finally getting the recognition that it deserves, but truly this is a phenomenal bag to have and one of my probably top best purchases of 2022. Moving on to a worst purchase. It's not like one of the worst purchases that I've made, but I think I'm building out this video in terms of cost per wear and cost per use, and I didn't get a lot of cost per use out of this item. I still personally really like it. I don't plan on getting rid of it. I'm actually packing it with me to Paris, and it is my Fendi monogram swimsuit. So I love the fact that it's reversible. If you want to wear it inside out and have it all black, you can. I usually end up wearing it with the Fendi logo facing outwards, just because I think that that's kind of what this swimsuit was purchased for. A couple things about the swimsuit. I sized up a lot in this. So I ended up getting a size 40. I originally tried on a 36 because the saleswoman in Fendi told me that a 36 is an extra small when she asked what kind of US sizing I was. This is an extremely tight swimsuit, so do not get hung up on the sizing. Just go in with what feels the most comfortable on your body. Given that, I did get a size 40. It's comfortable, it fits, it's not too tight. It's a very thick stretchy material, albeit it like snatches you in. And my intentions for getting this was to be able to wear it as like a onesie or as a swimsuit, whichever one you prefer. I wore it for a swimsuit a couple of times. Honestly, I don't get into the water that often, and if I'm gonna be swimming at like a public pool with Harrison and Peter, I just wear a casual swimsuit just because I don't know. I just don't feel appropriate wearing a full Fendi swimsuit with a bunch of parents. It feels like you're flexing on them, if that makes sense. I usually end up bringing this with me if I'm going to like a really nice destination, traveling somewhere exotic, or going to like some sort of 5-star hotel. Like this is kind of where I reserved this swimsuit for. Now I have also worn it as a one piece and I love it. I think it looks really cute. My only problem with this is that I wouldn't actually recommend wearing this swimsuit for extended periods of time. So if you can see here, the trim is a really thick piping, and yeah, it's nice. It doesn't slide off. It keeps you hugging in place. But my biggest qualm with this is that in the groin area, I mentioned before that the swimsuit has like a really tight, stretchy material. It carves up really high in your hip, and it ends up pulling up really tightly on your groin. And it's wide here, which is nice. It's not like a sliver. It's gonna hide everything in. But because it's so much more wider than my regular traditional swimsuits, it has a thick piping, and it pulls up and cuts really high up on the hips. These actually end up biting into the sides of your leg and into your groin. If you're wearing this for multiple hours, I would say like 3 hours plus, it can get quite painful and discomforting down there. I've done it. I don't recommend it. It's definitely fine. It didn't cause any bruising or cuts or long-lasting pain or damage to my skin. It just was really uncomfortable for a long period of time. So I would say wear this for swimming. Wear it as a one piece if you want. I wouldn't recommend wearing longer than like 3 to 5 hours max, or else you risk kind of getting into a lot of discomfort. So because of that, I ended up actually not wearing this as much as I thought I would. They have a very similar design that does not have the piping on the edges. If your intention in purchasing this is to be able to wear it as a one piece and as a swimsuit, then I would probably recommend going for the swimsuit that does not have the piping. If you're just going to be wearing it as a swimsuit and putting it on for just like an hour or so at a time, then I think you can get away with this one. Or I guess if you have hips that are wide set and you have like a long pubic bone area that's a little bit more comfortable, then this one could probably work. But honestly, because it's painful, I haven't been able to get as much wear as I would like out of it. One of my more worst buys of the year. I do still love it though, and I will be packing this for Paris so I can wear it as a one piece. I may regret that, but whatever. If you watch any of my shorts, then you 100% will know exactly why I love this one. It is my Gamma belt from Hermes. I have an upcoming video coming out detailing my full review of this belt and why I love it. This truly, besides the Saint Louis bag, is one of my best purchases I think to date. Actually, probably from Hermes. I've bought a bunch of stuff from there. I have a few bags, but this is my favorite besides the Oran sandals. Actually, you know what? I think I like this more than Oran sandals. A couple of reasons really quickly off the bat, because then I don't want to have to reveal my entire review video. Number one, it is a belt kit. A lot of belts from Hermes, you can actually take off the clasp here and put it onto a different belt. You can rotate it. It's reversible. I have a black and a taupe one. I really like it. These two colors I did not think I would love, to be honest. I originally went in looking for black and gold, but I ended up using a taupe a lot with a lot of my outfits, which is great. So if you're considering black and a taupe, I would say try it. You may like it a lot more than you think. This belt is wildly versatile. I wear it with so many different outfits, a lot of them that I've shown in my shorts already. If you would like some inspiration as to how to style this belt, then definitely head over to my shorts because you can see all the outfits that I feature this belt in there. I like it because it's a very like elegant and sleek belt. I can pair this up with anything and instantly make that outfit look really put together, complete, polished, and it also doesn't scream Hermes to somebody who's not familiar with the brand. Everybody knows the Constance belt, the big H one. It's iconic in like a good and bad way. I loved it. I still love it. I would love to get one eventually one day. It's just not high on my priority list right now. This one is a little bit more low key. So this is the Gamma one if you're interested. I can see why sometimes people confuse this for Gucci because it does have the horse bit motif, and Gucci loves using horse bit motifs in their designs too. But it's so discreet and small that it kind of stays hidden against your waist whenever you're using this belt. I also really like the fact that when you put this belt on, the belt strap, when you put it in, sometimes you're used to putting it in and it kind of like sticks off the edge here. That's not the case with this belt and not the case with a lot of Hermes belts. You actually poke it through and it goes underneath one side. So when you're wearing it, it stays perfectly flush against your waist, which is amazing. It's like a nice touch that you don't think about until you start using belts, and then you love it. So I actually wear this belt at least once a week since I've purchased it. I would say this is better than my Oran sandals just because I can wear this spring, summer, winter, fall, whereas the Oran sandals, I can only really wear it in warmer seasons. So I can get a lot of wear out of this belt. It's cheaper than an Oran sandals. Well, the whole belt kit itself is not. The strap itself is cheaper though. And because of the cost per wear, I would actually say this is overall cheaper than the Oran sandals because I wear this so dang much. If you're looking for an entry-level product to start your Hermes collection, highly recommend looking at their belts. It is so functional. You're gonna get so much wear out of it because especially the fact that you can rotate the sides, it's reversible. And it's just like a really easy accessory to throw onto your outfit. Everybody has pants with belt loops on them. You don't have to wear a specific outfit for this to work. And if you get like a right color match between like the reversible sides for colors that you'll use frequently, you're gonna get so much wear out of this belt. Highly, highly recommend. One of my favorite purchases might actually be of 2022. Going back to one of my worst purchases of the year. I really would like to get more cost per wear out of this. I actually make an effort to, but they're just, I have to show you them. And you're gonna get disappointed. I was disappointed that this ended up being on my list. It is the Bottega stretch sandals. So if you guys remember, I bought these in Milan. Actually, I bought a lot of this stuff in Milan. I bought my Goyard bag, that belt. It's gonna end here with this one though. I've been wanting them for over a year. I've tried them on at Holt's and they seem comfortable on the spot when you wear them, but honestly, these are not comfortable heels. I wanted white ones just because I wore my Zara ones to death. They literally were falling apart. The straps were shedding thread. I don't know, I can't throw them away, especially now that I don't love these ones as much. First of all, in the store, they are comfortable. I primarily also love the fact that it's a taller heel, taller than what I would personally prefer to wear as an everyday heel. For white heels, I wanted something that was comfortable. I could wear anywhere, dress it up for outfits, weddings, casual, that sort of thing. And I like the strappy look of it. I love the look of like naked heels with very minimal embellishments when it comes to any like bedazzling like jewels, thin straps. I just think it looks really elegant, makes your legs look longer, and it's very chic. I also love the fact that they have crazy amounts of grips on the base here, so you're not slipping around, and they're not just like textured. It's actually rubber and it grips really well on the ground, and I never have to worry about slipping. Couple things that probably should have flagged it right off the bat with me. Number one, the strap going across the front here, it is so thin. I have now learned my lesson because these are not cheap. Never buy shoes with a super thin strap that goes right over your toes because they will bite into your toes when you're walking, like when you lean forward. Unless you have like crazy long toes that go all the way to the top, and this goes right into like the top area where your toe cleavage is, where it starts. If this goes over your toe knuckles, it is painful, like wildly painful. I don't mind the thong sandal part because I wear thong sandals in the summer, like flip-flop, and I'm just used to that feeling on my toe, but it is a fairly stiff one and it takes a little bit of while to break in. I think I had to wear these almost 3 times before they actually got solidly comfortable up here. My feet have never once been comfortable down here yet. And then the only other thing that I thought wasn't going to be an issue but ended up being one. So I first mentioned that this heel is really high. I'm okay with that when I have ankle straps because then it keeps my foot in place. The only problem with this ankle strap is the fact that it's a T-bar on the back here. Because the straps are very loose overall, and given that this one also goes all the way up, you would think it hugs your foot pretty well. It does not. So this hugs your foot around the ankle, but your ankle can still slip and slide back and forth off the top of the heel where I guess your heel would sit on the shoe. And for somebody with weak ankles, and these are higher than normal heels, they're not that high, but for me they're considered high. I slipped out of these like no tomorrow. So I found that my feet were constantly making micro adjustments to make sure that I was staying in the shoe and not sliding off. Those micro adjustments also involved constantly repositioning my footbed at the base here so that my heel wouldn't be like slightly off to the side, because if you're off a little bit then you feel like you're gonna topple over. And because of that, it got really painful at the footbed up here, and I don't reach for them as often as I should. I do put them on when I'm doing photo shoots just because I'm wearing them for like really short periods of time. I was to a wedding, 100% regretted it. It was so painful to wear from the morning till night. Will never do it again. I think I can only wear this for a few hours at a time. Like if I'm doing a dinner gala and something starts later in the evening, I would not wear it for like a morning to night event. That's just, it's too much for me. I don't know if everyone has this experience with these Bottega stretch sandals. I don't get as much wear out of them as I would like. I still think they look beautiful. They're very elegant, slim, sexy, but I'm disappointed because I thought that this would give me like white heel piece and end my hunt for the perfect white pair of heels. I do still want the white Oasis sandals from Hermes. It's a very different vibe from this though, because the strap at the front going across is like the H strap similar to the Orans. And it's a lot thicker. It's not as elegant. You know immediately it's Hermes too, so it's not as nondescript. But I'm looking at the row ones now that are a little bit lower, which is, oh my god, such a plus because then I can walk comfortably in it. And it looks like the ankle straps kind of go along the side of your leg, so your leg does not have the opportunity to wiggle as much. So I'll let you know once I get those, but this did not give me white heel piece like I wanted. They are beautiful though. I've yet to decide if I want to sell these or keep them. I think I'm gonna wear them for at least 1 or 2 more summers before I make my complete decision. If I do not get enough wear out of them over the next year or 2, then I probably will end up selling them because they were not cheap. I've kept them in good condition, so I think somebody else would really appreciate them a lot more than I do. This is a newer and later acquisition into 2022, but still fell into the year. And I think it's something that I personally have been getting a hell of a lot of wear out of it, way more than I thought I would, and I'm happy because it was not cheap. And that is my Max Mara 101-801 coat, also known as the Madame coat. So I have this in a caramel color. I think they labeled this as tobacco on their website. Originally, this was not the color I intended on purchasing. I wanted a much lighter sand beige color. They didn't have that one on sale. I have a lot of sand beige colored jackets, and then this one was a little bit cheaper on the Essence site when I purchased it. I ended up getting a pretty good decent sale. I think it was like almost 20-ish% off. off of the regular full price. I love this. It is such a lovely oversized fit without looking like it's swallowing my body. I can wear sweaters underneath that have like really thick sleeves and not worry about feeling like I'm suffocating in my jacket. It is wildly warm. I can wear a t-shirt under this in like really early spring when it's still quite cold out and feel really warm. It's nice and long, so it's gonna cover my whole torso and give me lots of warmth. The heat's not gonna dissipate and like float up into the sky. It's really warm. I've never understood how the quality of materials can truly affect your experience until trying this jacket. I have a bunch of jackets, like winter jackets galore. I'm Canadian. We just have collections of them. I have thick ones, I have thinner ones. I have thick ones that don't even keep me warm in the winter, and it makes no sense. It wasn't until I tried this one, and it looks thin, and it actually is thin if you think about it for a winter jacket, but because of the wool that they used, it's insanely insulating. It's also lined with silk. I believe this is beaver wool, and it has just kept me so warm on the chilliest of days without me having to worry about layering on a sweater, putting on a scarf. And that's something that you regularly do as a Canadian before you go out, because you don't want to risk going outside for a whole day and getting cold and not being dressed appropriately. So I don't have to think about that anymore. I've just thrown t-shirts, literally something like this jacket on, and I'm actually warm for the day. So yes, it was a very expensive jacket, but I've worn the hell out of this already this winter, and I love it, and I can foresee myself wearing this like many years down the road, like decades. This is definitely gonna be an heirloom piece. It was an investment, and I'm very happy with this investment. So much so as to say that I would actually be willing to purchase another one in black. I think a black one would be a good investment to add into my collection so that I can have like a nice oversized black jacket when I don't want to be wearing a brown one. It's a very expensive coat, but I understand the appeal of Max Mara now and the functionality behind it, as opposed to just purely for fashion purposes, which I know sometimes we can get lost in when I purchase things like my Fendi swimsuit, the Hermes belt, or even these Bottega sandals. Like, this truly is a functional piece of clothing that is not necessary, but it has made my life a little bit more convenient wintertime, and it looks cute at the same time. You can't have fashion and comfort. It does come together, but at a price tag. So one of my better purchases for the year. This one is gonna hurt me to say because I have an emotional tie to this, and it is an Hermes bag. This was my very first bag. If you guys have seen my videos when I unboxed this, this is the Herbag, and I actually am still very much in love with this bag, but I don't carry it as much as I would like to, and I think I'm gonna make a conscious effort to carry it a little bit more this year. So this is the very first bag. I haven't closed in so long, and wow, I haven't also worn it in so long that there's like a little fine film of dust on the top here. I carried this bag way less than I thought I would, and I want to carry it more. It was the first bag that I got offered. I think it's a very practical bag, a phenomenal entry-level Hermes bag for anybody who wants to start collecting Hermes bags too. They don't all come with this print. Most of the time they're pretty neutral when it comes to the canvas. I like this bag. It holds a lot. It's great. It has a crossbody. It has a top handle. It's known as like a mini Kelly dupe in the Hermes world. It's similar to the Kelly because it has these sangles on the side here. It has a different lock closure though, and this is what kind of annoys me the most. This is actually quite annoying to take on and off. It's very secure. No one's gonna have any ease of access to your bag when you have it closed, but I find that because it's such an annoyance to close all the time, I don't often reach for this bag because it frustrates me to open and shut it. So you can just like put it on here, but if you want to lock it completely, then you got to put these singles through, and then it just turns into a whole ordeal. And at that point, I'm just like, why am I even locking it? The leather is really stiff, and if you don't use it to shut all the time and like keep the bag shut and mold into the shape, it gets really firm and it stays upright. I didn't do that because I had such a headache opening and closing this all the time. I figured let's just leave the top open so I can open the bag easily. Regrets. Use the top and close the bag as often as you can to break in and soften the leather, or else you're gonna have a really hard time like ever closing this bag. That being said, I like the bag. I think it's a beautiful color. I'm very happy that I was offered a neutral color for my very first bag from Hermes. It is stunning. Such a stunning bag. I will never get rid of her. I think she has her time and place. It's just annoying using her, and I have read some experiences online from other people that have also had a similar type of sentiment that they didn't love the lock closure and has frustrated them too. I'm gonna make an effort to wear this bag a little bit more. I don't hate it per se, but it's definitely on the spectrum of like my worst purchases of the year because I haven't gotten as much cost per wear out of this. Similar to my Fendi swimsuit. I don't hate either of them. I just need to use them more. They have their pitfalls, but overall, I think they're beautiful. Whereas the Bottega one, it just frustrates me to no end, those shoes. Alright, so that is a summary of my best and worst purchases, the top threes of each category for 2022. I haven't done a lot of purchases so far for 2023. Surprisingly, we've been very focused on just like baby and home stuff for the past few months of the year so far. I do have a trip to Paris coming up, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm probably in Paris right now as you're watching this, or it will be soon. And then I'm following up with flying straight to Tokyo to meet Peter there, which is like the capital and the mecca of vintage designer shopping. So I'm sure I'll come back with some stuff. You guys will probably see a roundup video of what I bought on my Paris and Tokyo journey once I get back. Let me know if you guys enjoy videos like this because I would love to create more of them for you if you like to watch these sorts of videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know if you have similar thoughts on the products that I shared and what your best and worst purchases of the year were so far. If you guys want to see more of me, you know where to find me on Instagram and on TikTok, where I post a little bit more frequently and kind of different content than on YouTube. But if you've enjoyed watching my video today, make sure you guys are subscribed. That way you don't miss a single video and it pops up in your sub boxes. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day and I will see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.